Hello, 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 brothers and sisters. Peace be upon you all. I pray you're all doing well. It's a beautiful thing to be free. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about how do you know if you have an addiction? Do you have one? What does an addiction look like? That's what we're going to be discussing.
Hey, 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 hey.
So, first things first, when it comes to addiction, what does the dictionary say? What is addiction? What's the definition? All right. So, according to Cambridge University's dictionary, right? An addiction is when you're unable to stop doing something as a habit. All right. Now, from my experience researching addiction, having addictions myself, pornography, masturbation, video gaming, binge eating, addictions. What I've found is that when you continue doing the activity despite having negative consequences in your life, when you've got the thought in your head, yeah, life would be better if I did less of this or I stopped doing this, but you don't follow through with that thought, even though you know that's a rational thought, that's an intelligent thought. If I stopped doing this, if I did less, my life would improve, my life would be better, and you're finding it difficult to follow through with that. That is an addiction. All right? And there's this idea that we get in society that, how do we know if someone's an addict or something? You got all this checklist and stuff, all these different questions. Are you online 8 hours, 10 hours at night watching porn or something? Or are you drinking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 beers? Or, but the person who has an addiction, they're aware of it. They know about it, even if they don't want to admit it to themselves. Even if because you can't lie to yourself. You know the truth. But if you're trying to dance around the issue, you're trying to deny it to yourself. I'm not an addict. It's not really that bad, and I could quit anytime that I want, which is true. We do have free will. You can actually quit anytime that you want. But the problem is with the state of addiction, it's like some part of us has forgotten about our free will, has forgotten about our ability to choose. And it all just gets tangled and mixed up because no one forces us to do these behaviors. No one forces you into the addiction. It's you. It's a battle between yourself and you. Like it's a personal battle. We can actually quit this stuff anytime that we want, whatever it is, whatever the addiction is. And some addictions you have to be a bit more cautious about. I mean, porn addiction, if you go into withdrawal from that, you're not going to be affected. It's not going to make you terribly ill or anything. Drug addictions, alcohol, you get, what is it? Those withdrawal symptoms, they aren't pretty. So make sure that you're taking precautions, and how to get yourself clean in a good way. If you have to contact a doctor or rehab center, do it. The thing is, when we have these addictions, we're aware. We know if something is harmful to us. We might not know just how harmful it is. We might have a vaguer picture, right? But you've got a feeling, this is not going well. I probably should stop doing this. I probably should, yeah. And another thing when it comes to addiction is that it's not about the frequency. It's not about how long or you've been addicted or how many times a week you do it or a month or whatever it is. Or, I just drink beer, or, I only do one hit of cocaine every week, with the fellow chefs in the kitchen, or it doesn't matter what it is. For porn addiction, you might be talking about, I just watch softcore, or, I only masturbate to Instagram models. It's not a big deal. I never go on the hub anyway. It's not about any of that. If it's causing you harm in your life, if it's messing up your life, and you've had that thought that if I change my behavior, life would get better, it's an addiction. If we continued past that point, that's what it is. That is an addiction. Now, one very good book that I highly recommend that talks about addiction and recovery and coming out of addiction permanently, ending the cycle, so that we don't have to spend years upon years in recovery from addiction, which becomes its own form of slavery in the end, is Rational Recovery. In that book, it talks about the state of ambivalence. What is ambivalence? What does that mean? It's like this internal tug of war, that there's two parts of you. There's two sides to your mind. There's one side that desperately wants things to change. It's like, maybe you have the idea of, I want to moderate this. I don't want to cut it completely out. Like, maybe your thing is alcohol, and you're like, I just want to be able to drink like a normal person out there without going crazy, getting blackout drunk or something. And it is possible for you. You can do that. Or maybe you're like, no, I've had enough alcohol. It's not adding any benefit to my life. It's a useless activity, and I want to cut it out completely. Either way, there's that one side of you that wants to do that desperately hopes and imagines for a future where that's possible for you. And it is. Well, there's another side of you that never wants to quit. That's always coming up with rationalizations and excuses and justifications to keep going back. Coming to pornography. It's like, oh, there are new videos, there's new releases out there. You're missing out. You need to go back. End this. We talking about how many days it's been garbage, man. Now how many stuff have been released in this time period. That other side wants you to remain addicted until you die. Until you die, it will take you to the grave with it. That is what ambivalence is. It's this state of being, this double-mindedness, having this alter ego that doesn't want to stop being addicted, right? That's what it is. That part of you wants to continue, right? And that part, that inner part, that comes, essentially that's like the brain speaking to us in our thoughts, okay? The brain, when it's, the problem that we experience in addiction is that with all of these high dopamine activities, drugs, alcohol, gambling, binge eating, pornography, whatever the addiction may be, all of these are just overloads the system with dopamine. And to the brain, high dopamine can only be a good thing. What does the brain know? The brain knows back in the day, our ancestors, right? When they got high sources of dopamine like that was like, oh, they found this new food source. They find an animal that's got fat and everything. It's like, okay, this is going to help us survive the winter. Or they've reproduced, they've mated, and now they're going to be continuing the gene pool. We're going to have descendants. Humanity is going to live on. So it sees those high dopamine activities as part of your survival needs. It sees them as only a good thing. You remember your life. You know the reason why you're like, do I have an addiction? I've probably got a problem. There's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you're thinking, no, things have got to change. You're aware of the truth. You know that this isn't helping you survive. It's quite the opposite. But the brain is convinced that this is necessary for you. And it speaks to us in our head. The brain will speak to us. It will borrow the same voice that we use when we're reading and stuff. It will speak to us with that. It will talk to us. It will give us urges. It will change our emotional state even. It will make us anxious or nervous or unhappy or angry in order to get us to go back to that dopamine. Because part of its job is to maintain balance in the body. And it's thinking, wow, the levels of dopamine have gone down. What is this guy doing? What is he quitting that activity? He needs to go back. He needs to go back. He needs to go back. That is that conversation that's going on in your head. Right? The thing is, every single addict, no matter how long it's been for you, no matter what you've been addicted to, we all have the power to end the addiction completely and behave as we want to. If you want to moderate, if you're not looking to quit, you just want to gain control over the behavior now. That's possible. If you want to quit it permanently, completely, never looking back, that is possible too. We have free will. There is always hope when it comes to addiction. There's always hope. There's this quote that I love from this guy. What's his name? Benjamin. I think his name is Benjamin Eliris-Sanens. He's an author. It says, if you can quit for a day, you can quit for a lifetime. Man. Brothers and sisters, we can all do this. Peace.
Well, here I go. How I get there, I'll figure out on my own. But no matter what, I'll be putting on a show. So watch out and watch me grow.